Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. It is time for another awesome episode of EP Live. We have a fantastic guest lined up for you. His name is Corey Robson, and he's a cinematographer or director of photography. We'll figure that out when we get him on a little bit later. But we've got a rundown to get to, and this one is going out to the memory card, who says it looks like Ruby is going to be the next big video game reviewer on EPN, because she had some fantastic comments about Yoshi's what's it called? Yoshi's Crafted World, which we're going to be taking a look at very soon. But right now, let's get started with your rundown. This summer, gamers will be able to travel back in time to a time when hating Nazis was uncontroversial. The 1980s. Bethesda and developer Machine Games have announced that Wolfenstein Youngblood will hit the PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch on July 26th. First announced at E3 last year, Youngblood takes place 20 years after the last game during an alternate history version of the 1980s. Players will take the role of the twin daughters of the franchise hero, BJ Blazkowicz, as they struggle to find their father and do, what else? As much Nazi killing as possible. Because there are two main characters, the game will have a strong emphasis on co-op, and there will even be a special buddy pass that lets you play with friends even if they don't own a copy of the game themselves. Youngblood isn't the only new Wolfenstein game on the way. Machine Games is also working on a separate project called Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, which is a VR game where players jump into the cockpit of different mechs. No release date yet for that, and it's amazing to see Machine Games kind of take the mantle of what the Wolfenstein franchise has laid for us over many, many years. An incredible series, and they're doing an immense justice to the quality of this franchise. Very, very big fan of what Machine Games has been up to, and I'm psyched to see what they do with these new games. I'm even down for Wolfenstein in VR. Are you kidding me? That sounds awesome. Now, the makers of the Divinity games are making a very tactical decision. Larian Studios has announced that Divinity Fallen Heroes is an all-new entry in their long-running RPG series, and it aims to put a fresh, more tactical spin on the gameplay. Rather than spending most of your time meeting new characters and exploring, Fallen Heroes will send you out on specific missions where you command squads of 4 in turn-based combat, similar to the XCOM franchise. The developers hope the game will serve as a blend between the traditional RPG mechanics of the previous games with the new, more strategic combat, so hopefully longtime fans will like it. Divinity Fallen Heroes launches later this year. I think this sounds phenomenal. I am a fan of what the Divinity titles in the past, and Larian is incredibly solid, and if they throw in all of that fantastic storytelling that they put into their previous games and let us do some turn-based combat like that, I think this is going to be super, super cool, and it does sound like something that would be perfect on the Switch. Just going to throw that little my hat in the ring for one of those things. I think turn-based games on the Switch are a perfect fit. All right, you got a woo for that. All right, the hype machine for Borderlands 3 is starting to rev up. Gearbox Software has released a new video teasing an upcoming project, and although they don't specifically say that it's Borderlands 3, it's pretty obvious that it's Borderlands 3. They've been hinting that the game is on the way for several years and have scheduled a presentation at PAX East tomorrow, so we're almost certainly going to be getting our first look then. Borderlands 2 was released way back in 2012, but since then there have been several spin-offs like the pre-sequel, which was awesome, and the recent VR version, which almost made me barf. It will be interesting to see what features the new game might introduce to keep the franchise fresh. Yeah, and you know, when Borderlands 2 came out, there wasn't this deluge of looter shooters out there that kind of borrowed this RPG mechanic and aesthetic that Borderlands didn't invent. I think you could probably throw back to the Diablo games for getting us hooked on that kind of compulsion, but Borderlands definitely surprised the world with its sense of humor and you know, your obsessive sort of focus on collecting all the weapons and meeting all the different characters. And now, though, we've got lots of different options. We've got Anthem out there, we've got Destiny, of course, and The Division 2, which is my current love affair. So it's a different world now, and of course there's been lots of controversy swirling around Randy Pitchford and Gearbox over the years. So it'll be interesting to see if the game could come out from the shadow of all that and still wow everybody. I think at its core, Borderlands is such a phenomenal franchise with such great characters and such an awesome sense of humor that it is going to be great. My fingers are crossed. I can't wait to see more. So we'll have news on that very soon. Now, the maker of the critically acclaimed game and interactive movie, Her Story, has another story to tell. Her Story director Sam Barlow has unveiled a new game called Telling Lies. Like Her Story, players will search through live-action video featuring real actors with the goal of finding clues that help you unravel a big secret. The game promises to be much bigger than Her Story, with 4 central characters instead of 1, meaning a more complicated story and more mysteries to uncover. Telling Lies will hit desktop machines and smartphones later this year. I love this Sam Barlow guy. He is incredibly ambitious. I met him where did I meet him? Portsmouth, England. He was working at Climax way back in the day. I think he was working on a Hellboy game or something like that, but he was just like young developer dude guy. And then he went off and made Her Story kind of on his own. He cast all the people, wrote the scripts, did the whole kind of, deep dive into talking about, using live action video to tell a story and make that a video game. And it was a massive success and very cool. And we raved about it on Reviews on the Run, and all of us were really impressed with what this imaginative person was able to do. And since then, he's been courted by Hollywood, and he's worked on lots of other cool projects, and he hasn't let it go to his head. He is still very much just a creative, ambitious, aspiring inventor out there that's trying to kind of shake things up. So I'm looking forward to checking out Telling Lies, and I remain a big Sam Barlow fan.